We are now reacting to the rock band Xdinary Heroes, and this is their title track, Voyager, off of their Dead and EP, get it? And it's about embracing new beginnings after an ending. That's why it's like Dead
Resurrection. That's good.
Yeah. Using the Voyager 1 space probe's eternal journey as a metaphor for resilience, navigating personal loss, and moving forward.
I would give Ryan Gosling my extra fuel.
The song is composed by Xdinary Heroes themselves, along with Collapsed One.
Quirky niche max this peak cinema analysis. Quiche max this penis.
What?
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Chord.
Oh yeah.
I love the space. I love the space of it all.
Oz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is cool. No way.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, that went hard. Okay, the synth is very space.
I love how the synth keyboard is mimicking guitar.
Yep.
Red.
Oh, it's funny. It sounds like he's talking into a radio, kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, contemporary notation.
That is contemporary notation.
Worlds. Everything, everywhere.
Nice little halftime feel.
This is so prog rock.
The filter is going in and out.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good vibes. Good vibes only.
And well, this is exactly like a gospel song that I would hear at my church.
Oh, renew. Oh, good. Doesn't repeat.
Nice chords. Nice chords. He's sparkly.
Holy blasty, yeah.
The phasing of the filter is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, that was nice.
that was a fake out.
different.
Wasn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
That melody over top the chords is just so nice.
It really is.
Just using 3 notes, that's all you gotta do.
Oh, interesting. The 4 instead of going to the 1, it went to the relative minor.
That synth line is so rad, how it displaces the beat.
Whoa!
They're animated.
Whoa! What? This is a sick bridge.
Oh, this is so pretty.
Wild modulation too, wow.
Oh my gosh, we're actually in C#/G flat major. Thank you.
Different bass sound.
Oh!
Wait, now I completely forget what key they were in before. I wasn't thinking about it.
Wow, it ends in a lower key than it started. That's so interesting.
It's like the thing. It's like the space thing. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the space.
It's like the, yeah.
The banger, 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 banger,
Well,
banger.
that was 4 minutes. That felt really short.
Yeah.
Also, the contemporary notation.
So if there's a extended technique that somebody doesn't really know how to draw, they just make up some random insane stuff that you've never seen before, like that.
So like, I could look at this and actually think it's a genuine piece of classical music because I would understand this to mean.
If it was for solo saxophone, it could be like the bottom bar is your vibrato and the top bar is your dynamic, or how they want you to actually phrase it. Or it could be the top bar is growling and adding voice to the bottom, which is just changing the note, like just going up and down.
Yeah, no, contemporary music is weird. I played a piece that had 2 lines on it, and one of the lines was you actually play, and the other line was you do key clicks.
How do you know to do that? Do they just like have...
Oh yeah,
So
they like tell you.
You already know it's gonna be an interesting piece of music when there's an instructions page.
At my church and other Christian churches that I've been at are sort of following this modern path of bringing in like guitars and drums and keys and stuff to have like basically the orchestration of a rock band in church. I've literally played a church song that sounds literally almost exactly like this. The service starts at 11, right? The music will start at 10:59. And then like right at 11, when worship starts, it drops, right? And then another spot, this groove, it's not strictly like gospel, but I mean, you hear it all the time in this.
Yeah, dude.
Super church for me. Even these chords.
I feel like this would have hit so hard in 2012.
It hit so hard in 2026. That got like really sad. Like when the modulation happened, that got really sad.
Sad?
Yes!
I'm pretty sure your girl, Irene over here, was tearing up.
I was, and then you started going around the keyboard.
Singing felt very like 2008, circa 2009, like punk rock, which was sick. I love that. That was so fun. The whole melody, in fact, is just like really reminiscent of that era.
This guy's voice is like literally, who is this? Who is this?
His name is Julian.
Okay.
He's the bassist.
What?
The thing that I really love about it is it all comes from a really healthy place too. Because sometimes whenever you sing this style, there's a tendency to like just completely thrash your voice. The way that they're singing is very supported. The way that we can tell that it's supported is because the belt flips into an area where it's nice, bright, high, and it aims a little bit sharp as to allow for like, as it steadily goes flat, that it's still in tune with the rest of the music. And we can also feel that that foundation is coming from a heavy breath support. So whenever they breathe in, they take a big old breath in, you have your full lung capacity up, and you should feel almost like this like pressure at your core. And so if you can feel that pressure on your core, that allows for you to be able to have these nice supported high notes, and you can hear it whenever it's correct and hear it's correct.
It's such a concert song. Like, it goes so hard. Wow. I think Collapsed One is my vibe.
Yeah.
I do like him.
Hell yeah. Cool guy.
It's quite nice. It keeps on, it's like driving for like low-key the whole thing.
It also has the you know, the percussive elements that where it's like they take away the snare, but then they added a bunch, and then you take it away again and added a bunch, and then it's like you don't know when the headbang comes, and then you hear the snare, and then that's where the headbang is. It definitely helps with a lot of the build-ups and helps with a lot of like keeping people in suspense for the next section.
I think this feels a lot more electronic and synth-based. So we get like a lot of constant activity and a lot of density and texture to the sound, which gives it that like continual motion forward, and that's why it was like such an enjoyable headbanging experience for me.
I loved in the beginning of this, like how they kind of built the spaciness of it while not totally departing from like the rock pop idiom a little bit. That's very, very normal, I would say. What I love about it though is that they put this in there before there's any rhythmic information. So if you just hear, when I heard that, my mind immediately went to, oh, compound. It's like 6/8, that's what I was thinking. Simple is 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and compound is 1 2 ba da ba do ba do ba ba do ba. So I heard this as being ba ba do go gotta go gotta do gotta go, but turns out it's actually, instead of being
It goes from triplets to 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 instead of triplet, 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 triplet 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1. So it feels like it speeds up.
It's really like you're all the way up here, and then just everything comes in, and so it's just like
It's a wave.
Delicious.
I like the one note that stands out up there.
Delicious music has been made.
Yes.
The reason that I really liked it in this specific setting is because they're trying to give you the impression of telling you where they are, of making this feel like it's in space, of having this be kind of just like out there before they lock you into the rock that their group does. I like that they kind of like leave you out in space, just as like kind of a world building kind of feature before they kind of suck you in.
I also really loved the chord progression because it wasn't cyclical. Because it was very much like it went with where the words were going and where the melody was going. Of course, you're gonna recycle the chord progression, but like it changed like depending on the section.
2. Major 4, minor 4, and 1.
I actually really like how stepwise this whole progression is.
Yeah.
Kind of cute.
Can I just say one thing? One quick thing about the chords. I love how they did like the 4 to 4 minor, but they never made the 4 minor super obvious. The 4 minor was always so deeply embedded in the background that it was really difficult to hear it. Because you get this like do-do-do-do-do. You don't really ever hear the 3rd in there. It's in the production of it. It's almost like a hidden minor 4 chord. Which I kind of like. I like that.
You know a key change is done well when people with not perfect pitch can't tell that the key...
There was a key change!
Where?
Where was it?
Wait, what key were we in to start?
E major.
So we end like a minor 3rd way.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's why it sounds so cool. Because they actually went down instead of up for a key change. So they cut the chorus in half. And they start the bridge halfway through the chorus once they get to that C sharp minor chord in the regular chorus. And then they change the chords with the second half of the chorus.
Hold on. So if we were in E this whole time, I never heard a 5, ever. I heard a 4. The chorus always ended on a... And then they would go like to like 6 or something like that, and then they would keep going. And sometimes they would like hang out on like 2 of E, but then finally we get, I think we have a B, we have a 5 finally. But then instead of resolving to 1, we resolved to major 6. Which is actually very classical. That's a very classical thing to do, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
That's pretty darn cool.
That is so lovely.
So I mean, maybe that's why it's so smooth, because I feel like that's a very romantic approach. Because they like to do like common tone modulations. Because we've been hearing this 6 forever. Like it's been in like all throughout the beginning, because instead of resolving to 1, they always go to 6 and then approach again.
We end on the dominant of E, which is this. And then if you're using the flat 6 of the new key, this is into... Feels like it opens up because a dominant 7 to a 1 is like a very we're landing at home resolution. A flat 7 to 1, it's less gritty and less like exciting, but it's more of a peaceful kind of resolution. So it feels like, oh, we're gonna go back to E, we're gonna go back to E, oh, it's building the tension, and then we open up into something that's satisfying, but not the same as what we were expecting.
Yeah, they do the line of suspensions, which is really nice. Most songs go up a key when doing a key change or something like that, but it works.
And what's especially interesting is that it isn't until the 3rd note that you truly realize where you've arrived at.
Exactly.
Because it sounds like it would go into the minor, something like that, and then. That's the magic. E sharp again.
When we move down a minor 3rd, the key center of C sharp in relation to E is like quite close because they're like C sharp naturally occurs in E major. So when we went to C sharp, when we transitioned to C sharp in the bridge, we're already like half familiar with it. So then when we hear that E sharp, everything's like way brightened up, but we're still in the same color family.
And see the visuals. Everyone involved in the creation of this, they knew how special a moment that was, and they committed, and it was great.
Whoa! Wow! I just have to appreciate the animation. I am such a big animation fan. Dude, I think the old guy is one of them in the future, and he's reminiscing about his band that used to sing in space. But he's now on a faraway
I told you
planet.
it's sad.
I don't feel that sad though.
The bridge itself is completely within the texture, and the drum rhythm changes up, and you get enough variation there and a new part of the story with the lyrics, and a variation on the melody. To the point where you're hearing something completely different from the material given before, but it's still all within the same universe. But then the genius part of it is that they enter into a chorus after that's a breakdown chorus, and it's done in a way so like you don't feel like the bridge has just completely swept the floor out from under your feet.
And I also liked how at the end they got rid of the minor 4 completely.
No one's talked about that yet.
Okay, well at the end when they do the key change, it goes to 4 and it doesn't go to minor, it just kind of stays on 4 major because we're happier now.
You know, they're not like insanely complicated. Like all their songs serve a purpose. You know, you're not trying to get people to like really think about the suspensions, but they are there, and it invokes a really cool feeling. It invokes that longing, that kind of like stretch out in the music, and I think it works really well.
There's those anticipations. And then you get a completely different feel in the shuffle because that lands. So it goes from being kind of a reaching sort of quality in both the melody and the rhythm to, okay, we're cruising.
Could you Quiche Lorraine it a little bit better for me? Or I'm gonna have a Melancha lash out. A melancholic.
I think you're just
low-key-
gonna have to have a Melancha lash out.